Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next question of our agriculture optional answer writing practice series. And the question for today is differentiate between cropping system and cropping pattern and describe the principles of cropping system. So this question was asked in this year's mains examination of agriculture optional paper. Okay, that is 2025. So let's see how we can approach this answer. And whenever it comes to cropping system and cropping pattern, a lot of questions have been asked in the past, and it is a very important topic for the future also. So you should be prepared for this question very well. Okay. So let's see how we can approach the answer. So in introduction part, you can simply refer that how cropping system and cropping pattern are very kind of useful and important facets of our agriculture. Okay, cropping system and cropping pattern. The knowledge of both is very important for proper agricultural management. Okay, and you can simply define in one line also, that is in cropping system is the nothing but cropping pattern plus management. And what is cropping pattern? Okay, so cropping pattern is kind of spatial arrangement of the crop. Okay, arrangement of crops in time and space. In time and space is what cropping pattern is, and cropping system is both arrangement plus its management, because you have to manage various kind of resources, input, either it is irrigation, fertilizer, labor. So all these things can be land management. All these things will come under cropping system. So this is the basic thing through which you can introduce. Now let's move to the first part of the upper body, that is differentiate between cropping system and cropping pattern. So I have given you a fair bit of idea in the introduction only. Now we will see how can we differentiate between the two. So what is cropping system? So it is the overall farm strategy integrating resources and management. So as I have said, cropping pattern plus management is what cropping system is. So it is a kind of broader term. Whereas cropping pattern is the sequence and proportion of crops grown in field. Okay, that is arrangement of crops in time and space. And it is a narrower term as compared to cropping. It is a narrower term as compared to cropping system, because here we have to include both cropping pattern, resources, environment, economics, that is all management. And when you see the objectives of cropping system is sustainability, resource use efficiency, profitability, everything will come under its objectives. Whereas the objectives of cropping pattern is just allocation of crops. Okay, how will you allocate the crops over a certain space or in a certain time? So this is what cropping pattern is. Determinants. The determinants of cropping system will be soil, climate, technology, inputs, market, socio-economics. All these will be determinants of cropping system. Whereas the determinants of cropping pattern will be rainfall, irrigation, soil fertility, farmers' soils. All these things will be determinants of cropping pattern. Examples you can give in cropping system such as rice fish system, rice fish duct system. You can give out agroforestry systems. Okay, you can give examples of integrated farming systems. All these will come under cropping system. Whereas in cropping pattern you can give about intercroppings, double cropping, monocropping. Okay, so these will come under cropping patterns. Okay, suppose we are having rice based cropping patterns, that is we are growing rice season after season. So this is the basic difference between cropping system and cropping pattern, and I have made this table. And if you know, it's good. If you don't know, please do make this table in your notes so that you can revise well, and whenever these questions comes in future, you are able to answer this efficiently. So this was the first question. Now the second question is describe the principles of cropping pattern. So we'll move to the second part of the question, that is principles of cropping system. So what is the principle of cropping system? First of all, we have to focus on efficient utilization of resources. Efficient utilization of resources. Suppose we are doing kind of intercropping, or we are doing intercropping of maize, coffee. So we'll have to ensure that our resources are efficiently utilized. Our fertilizers, irrigation, whatever you use as resources are utilized nicely. Second, we have to focus on soil health. We have to focus on fertility, soil fertility. So this is very important. Okay. Next, we have to focus on pest management, disease management, weed management, pest, disease, and weed management. Next, you can also mention here about a principle of economic viability. Economic viability, that is, our cropping systems is profitable for us. Okay, it gives a certain amount of good value for the production we did. Next, risk minimization should be a principle of risk minimization. Risk should be lower. We have to opt crops with lower risk, such as millets, pulses. All these things are uh, in very much promoted by government because of its risk minimization abilities. We can give example here with intercropping with crops such as pulses. Next, sustainability, a very important principle is sustainability. Our cropping system should be sustainable. Okay. Next, there should be adaptability to agroclimatic conditions. Adapt, Adaptability to agroclimatic conditions. There should be not a cropping system. Suppose there is a agroclimatic zone where the water resources are less. Suppose it is a arid agroclimatic zone and you are growing sugar cane there, so it is of no use. In arid zones, we have to focus on crops such as millets, pulses, other things which can be grown in low water requirements. We have to focus on arid fruits. So this we should keep in mind. Next, you can also mention here about labor and input management. We have to properly manage labor and input properly. Okay, so that our we can use our inputs and labor efficiently. Second, proper time and space utilization should be there. Time and space utilization should be proper. We should also focus on food, fodder, and nutritional security. So all these are the principles which we have to focus upon during planning or during a cropping system. Okay, so all these things should be kept in mind while planning a cropping system, and all these are the principles of cropping system. Or a cropping system following all these principles will be a good cropping system. So I think all these, if you mention 7 8 principles, that would be enough because it was a 10 marker question, and I hope you understand all the things. And in conclusion, you can mention how a good cropping system would ensure good income, will ensure economic profitability, will ensure sustainability, and should be socially acceptable. So all these things can be mentioned in conclusion. So I hope you understand all the parts of the question, and you will be able to now approach this answer very nicely. So that is all for today. If you like it, please press the like button, please do share, and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis, and if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.